Right, so we starting with the new Torah portion, Jethro. Main topic is Mount Sinai, the 10 words or the 10 commandments, and the platform where we started from last week is we left off to the end of that Torah portion with the battle against Amalek, and we discovered that it's all about the flesh, and that enemy is only weakened, it's not destroyed. Pharaoh is destroyed, Egypt's destroyed, the Nachash has no more power over you, but your flesh and your heart is your greatest enemy. So what is the next thing to take care of that? Now we saw that the mikvah, or traveling through the Red Sea, placed a barrier between you and the Nachash. So he has no longer authority over you, no longer a say or a right. But what barrier can you put in between Amalek and the flesh and yourself? What safety barrier can we get to make sure that Amalek is removed from you, so you can serve Yahweh in peace and no more fighting against that? So the first step to address that is the 10 words. That's the next thing in the journey. So the 10 words or 10 commandments are basically the barrier, similar to the Red Sea, that covers you from your fleshly desires and from your hardened heart. We saw that last week as the father and the mother of the flesh. Father of the flesh is all the fleshly desires. The mother of the flesh is your own will or your hardened heart, things that you want to do, your ambitions, your plans that are not aligned with Yahweh's plans. So in saying all of that, we also have another layer that's on top of it. So I'm going to explain a few layers. So the first layer is the covering and protection against the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination or the flesh. The next layer has to do with the governing system or the government system. If you picture for yourself, there's over 3 million, maybe 3 to 6 million people who left Egypt, and they have no rules, nothing. They have Moses, they've got the signs and wonders, they've got the memory of what happened, and they know there's an awesome God, and they're afraid, but they still don't know how to conduct themselves. Maybe I will upset this awesome God, and he might destroy me as well. So I know that the gods have been addressed by the 10th plague, so don't worship the gods anymore. But how do I find peace with the Almighty and find peace with my neighbor? And the answer is clear within the 2 sets of 5. The first 5 of the 10 words deals with how you create peace between you and Yahweh, things that you know you conduct yourself within in order to have shalom. And then the second set of 5 is things that you do to conduct yourself in relation to your neighbor, how to live in shalom or peace with the brethren. And that's the government system layer. So we had the flesh, the government system. The next layer we're going to look at, or just touch on, is the covenant. Now, the covenant is basically pointing back to the covenant made with Abraham. But that covenant is being extended to more than one family. It was the family of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, right through to the 12 sons. 12 sons became 12 tribes. 12 tribes became one nation. The nation left Egypt with a mixed multitude, with various people from other nations, including Egyptians, and whoever Pharaoh enslaved with Israel as well. And all these things, all these people formed this new people called Yisrael. And they have this group name called Righteous People of Elohim. And Yahweh is in covenant with them. So the covenant is established by the Ten Commandments and written down. Now, covenant is like a contract. When you sign a contract, when you buy a house or when you get married, there's a piece of paperwork that you sign. That's the agreement between the two parties. Now, we saw that with Abraham, the agreement that Yahweh made with himself on behalf of man is now being extended to this mixed multitude called Israel. So it's the covenant layer. The next layer I want to lay over this is another type of covenant, which is the marriage covenant, which is the first part of the two-part marriage covenant process, which is called the ketubah, or the canopy. And the mountain actually formed the canopy under which the bride and the groom stands, and they present their vows to one another. Now, the vows that Israel made to Yahweh are the 10 words they agreed on. Yes, we will do exactly what you say, before they even heard it. So they agreed to the vows. In the same way, in marriage, you don't change the bride's vows or the groom's vows. You say, no, I don't like that one, in front of everybody. It comes from the heart. Now, the other side of the vows that Yahweh made to his people are depicted in the 4 cups that we will discuss during the celebration of Passover, which is basically the engagement of the marriage covenant, which is the engagement. The second part of the marriage is the second coming, and that's where it will finalize the wedding, and he will gather his bride and step over the Kidron Valley through the blood covenant and the threshold covenant. So those are the multiple layers of Mount Sinai. It's also got pictures of the word and the sword and everything we looked at previously. But I just want to emphasize that today. So I hope you have a lovely day. Speak to you soon. Shalom.